Good afternoon, Professor. It's Eduardo. I'm presenting my final case on Kingsford Charcoal. So first I'll go over our table of contents. Well, first I'll talk about the current case facts, the 4Ps and STPs, the current situation, how Clorox got involved here. Then I'll go over to the market and who we should potentially market to, recommendations, and lastly, a quick over wrap up. So what are the case facts? Well, it is currently owned by Clorox. It has had a steady growth since the 1980s, but unfortunately in the summer 2000, they did see a decline, which is why we're here. We're trying to figure out why those sales drops, and then in the next meeting have a plan to potentially bring those sales back. And they do have two products, the red bag and the blue bag. And the areas involved that they should plan for the next meeting are promotion, market, pricing, and segmentation. Next, we'll get into the 4Ps and STPs. So they currently have the two products, the regular original brand and the red Match Light brand. The blue brand comes in 3 different sizes, same thing as the Match Light, except the original brand has a 48-pound bag, which is just two 24-pound bags, a 20-pound bag and a 10-pound bag, and then the Match Light has a 20-pound bag, a 15-pound bag, and 8-pound bag. Sizzle! Next, we'll get into the pricing. The regular is at 10 pounds at $4.25, and then 20 pounds $6.78. And then the red bag, a regular is $5.20, and then a 20-pound bag is $8.07. Next, we'll get into the place and promotion. So currently, it's sold via indirect channels like chain stores like Sam's Club, Costco, your drug stores, your local convenience store. You can pretty much find Kingsford anywhere at this time. Drug stores, like I mentioned. Promotion, they kind of lacked media promotion. There wasn't much media promotion, even for the competing brands like Royal Oak. They didn't really have much media promotion, which is kind of why they dropped in sales, which I'll get more into the future. But they mostly just advertise in holidays and seasonals. What else do you expect? In terms of the STPs, like segmentation, its demographic was mostly younger men, tailgating, stuff like that, since there is that stigma that men are the ones that barbecue. Sorry about that. But yeah, international, US and Canada, and usually only the diehard charcoal fans would use charcoal. Targeting, it's seasonal. They had the little slogan that they tell their stores: pile it high and watch it fly, which is kind of true. Behavioral, they did have their lab testing, which is I'll bring up in the future about how they can use to kind of market themselves, since they are lab testing, that they found that 2-to-1 preferred charcoal. Lastly, their positioning: lights faster, burns stronger. Now their SWOT, I did do a SWOT analysis as well, which involved the strengths, they're high quality they're considered high quality among customer perception. The weaknesses, the weather affects their branding, and also reduced media spending, and then also gas. Wait, that's a threat. Never mind, I get that getting a little ahead of myself. Opportunities, they can do grilling competitions, more media advertisement, which I'll get more into the marketing later on. And then the threats, obviously gas grilling, and also the weather patterns like I mentioned before. Next, we'll get into the current situation that they currently are involved in. So currently, Kingsford owns 9% of the revenue for Clorox. So when they start going down, Clorox also goes down in revenue. Trends that decrease sales. Competitors increase their price by 10%. There's an absence in advertising. There's decreased promotion as well, which ultimately led them to decrease in sales. And then weather patterns due to climate change, they believe, are causing people to have cooler months and people wanting to spend less. Next, I'll get into the market, who we should market at potentially. And the big question is, why do we grill? One, a big flavor. People love the flavor of grilling over gas. You can't really get that with gas grilling. You don't really get the flavor that you do with charcoal grilled and those sizzle lines, and it gets you like, yum. I mean, they're even at it in commercials. They literally do fake sizzle lines, so it makes sense why people love it so much. It brings friends and family together. It's a big culture thing. I know for me, for Latino, when we grill, it means that we're gonna get together with family, be outside, and just enjoy one another's company. The desire to be outdoors, grilling involves camping. People love camping, and so on. It's a hands-on experience. You're actually cooking your food. You're grilling it. You kind of prepare it. It's like, I don't know. It's fun and like it's a fun experience being outside and grilling. Like it's all about the experience, and people love a good experience. So the categories. So the categories are cooking outside. What in terms of categories, it's what should Kingsford market to? So there is cooking outside. It's convenient. You don't really have to think about it. You can just stop by anywhere, but it is costly, unfortunately. There is dining in. You cook for yourself, but that's usually done on a stovetop and oven. You usually do that most of the time of the year, so does it really seem that fun? Let's be honest. Do you like cooking? Charcoal. The people that love charcoal, they do it for the flavor, how they feel with other people, bringing family together, and so on. And then there's gas grilling, which is like kind of like with cooking at home and eating out. It's easier to clean up. Eating out, you just throw it away. Cooking at home, wash dishes. How hard is that? But we still hate it. And then gas grilling, not glass grilling, gas grilling. You can control the temperature and then so on. Easier to clean up. Next, I'll get into which I think Kingsford will focus on more. I feel like they're already focused on the charcoal just because they already have that established. So I think we should keep on focusing on them. But potentially, come up with new ways, which I'll talk about more in the marketing. I think next we should focus on gas as well, just because it's easy convenience. Sorry. Like I was saying, we should focus on gas grilling next, just because it's the next best thing. People still love grilling. They still get that little atmosphere, like they can grill outside, the convenience of that. But they don't get the flavor and the other stuff like that. And then next, dining out, because we can potentially have partnerships with the restaurants and sell the charcoal to them if they're grilling and stuff like that. Collaborate with them as well. And then lastly, cooking at home, cooking in, expand our product lineup, bringing spices, bringing accessories for cooking, spoons, pans. Like the world's your oyster. You can literally do anything, especially with cooking in. Mitts, aprons, cups, and stuff like that. Make merch. People love merch. Collab with big fashion brands. Do like a big old Kingsford shirt, tube top or something. Very like Von Dutch-esque. Because it's very American. Kingsford's a very American brand. But next, I'll go into the recommendations. Whoop, 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 whoop. So what am I going to recommend? This is going to be fun. So what I recommend that Kingsford does is expand to more cultures, because cooking and grilling is a culture thing. I know it's really big in Thailand. People love grilling there too. The Mexican culture, we love grilling. We love cooking outside. Expand the cultures, because it's not just Americans that cook. A lot of cultures cook. Make advertisement, makes some sort of media that caters to them. The LGBTQ+. It's in the summer. It's during June Pride Month. Advertise during then. Have drag queens do some cooking, do some grilling competitions, and so on. Cross partnerships. Make be a sponsor for the Food Network. People love watching Food Network. HGTV. All those houseware shows. Be their sponsor. Food brands. Do partnerships with them. Do partnerships with meats. Do partnerships with vegetables, condiments, and so on. I know Kingsford does make their own condiments, but you get the gist. Have competitions at your local hardware stores, supermarkets. Have grilling competitions. Get people involved. Have them win a grill. Have them do something. People, if you can get people involved, that'll be great. Even with the supermarkets, have like more interactive pop-up displays, like I'll show in the next few slides, where you can kind of have it look like a grill or something like that. Make it interactive. Make people have to like go up to it and touch it. In-store samples. Have them taste the difference between cooking a food on gas grilling and charcoal grilling. Have them taste that difference. And then lastly, there's more than one thing you can do in a grill. It's not just about grilling meat. Grill vegetables, bake pies, bake potatoes, make dessert. Make like advertise it like it's more than just grilling. You can do so much more on a charcoal grill than just your typical, I'm gonna cook some meat. I mean, meat is good, but like, come on, it gets boring after a while. And then wrap up. So, what is my wrap up? So, my wrap up. Conclusion. Skip that. Conclusion. Increase production just in case there is like if there's more sales. I know that was a little bit of a budget thing, but increase it so you can meet the needs of the customers. Increase the media expense because like the charts showed it did decrease over time. Oh, this is the advertising I'm talking about. Have a some sort of display like that. Have people interact with it. People will love that. I remember when I go to the grocery stores and I see that, I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. But yeah, increase media expense, increase advertisement, not just during the seasonal holidays of summer, Thanksgiving, and so on. Do it throughout the whole seasons. Make hot cocoa on December. Grill during February. Have like a little grilling with your loved one. I know I would love that. And then mention how like the brand has that brand heritage because this brand was technically came from Henry Ford needing a supplier for their Ford Model Ts. So mention that. It's always been American. Big America. Especially for the Trumpies and those conservative Republicans. Make it all about America for them. And like how you guys help, I don't know if you guys help veterans or not, but if you guys do, help veterans, help all that kind of stuff. Help the army. Yay, go America. Big trucks, independence, war. I mentioned that. And that is it. Thank you. I would love to still keep in touch. So if you would like to, Professor Katie, follow me on Instagram under Eduardo or Ed. That's literally my username, Eduardo or Ed, because I don't care who likes me or not. I mean, not who likes me or not. I don't care what I'm being called, Eduardo or Ed. I don't mind. But I just want to say thank you so much for being an incredible professor. I had so much fun in your class. I hope we still stay in contact. I really, really learned a lot, and you really inspired me to want to become a marketing professor one day, eventually in the future. But I just want to say thank you, and follow me on Instagram. Yeah, that's it.